My brother-in-law keeps trying to hook up with me. Should I tell my husband? My husband is a very, very jealous man. He can't stand it when I get hit on or even stared at. The few times that I've gotten hit on in front of him, he actually started a fight with the guy. So I basically live in fear of anybody hitting on me in front of him. He's also very jealous with our friends. I have a really big group of friends and a lot of them are males. He's outright told our male friends to not touch me or ever even hug me or kiss me when they see me. By the way, a lot of these guys are already married and in relationships. So the fact that my husband does that is just ridiculous. It's obviously humiliating to me. The only person my husband is not jealous of is his own brother. And at first I thought this was a good thing. His brother offered to move in with us while we were renovating our house. My husband and him basically work all day on the house. I get to work from home, so I'm usually in my own office. A few weeks ago, my brother-in-law started coming into my office. First, he would just talk to me, and then it turned into flirting. Then he started insinuating how good-looking I was, how lucky my husband is. Part 2 is up. My brother-in-law keeps trying to hook up with me. Should I tell my jealous husband? That's when he started coming into my office to flirt with me. He would compliment everything about me. He would tell me that I had a great body, that I had a beautiful face. I know that he could visibly see how uncomfortable it made me, but he kept going. Of course, it never occurred to me to tell my husband because of how violent he gets when he's jealous. And he knew that, which is why he kept pushing it. One day, my husband and him went to a local bar after finishing up work at home. When they came home, my husband was completely wasted. My brother-in-law put my husband in our bed and told me that I should get him some water. I went down to the kitchen to grab my husband a bottle of water, but my brother-in-law followed me into the kitchen, cornered me up against the fridge, and tried to kiss me. By the way, I could smell the alcohol on him, so I knew he was drunk. I pushed him away and told him not to touch me. That's when he started apologizing. He said, I thought you wanted it. As I started walking away, he grabbed my arm and kissed me. But the truth is, part of me liked it. Truthfully, I always found my brother-in-law very attractive. By the way, it's not like I just let him kiss me. I was trying to fight him off. When he let me go, I slapped him and I ran upstairs. Of course, I avoided him after that. A few days later, I was having dinner with my friends when my brother-in-law shows up at the restaurant and sits at a table right across from us. He proceeded to just stare at me the whole time. Finally got up to the bathroom and he followed me. That's when he grabbed me and kissed me again. Part 3 is up. My brother-in-law keeps trying to hook up with me. Should I tell my jealous husband? When I saw him at the restaurant, I got up to go to the bathroom. He followed me, grabbed me, and kissed me again. Part of me really liked it. The other part of me knew this was totally wrong. Told him to leave the restaurant and he did. When I got back home from the restaurant, my husband wasn't home. That's when my brother-in-law confesses that he thinks my husband is having an affair. And that's why he thinks that he and I should just do whatever we want because my husband is already cheating on me. Now here's the thing. I have caught my husband cheating on me twice in the past. He told me that he'd never do it again and I believed him. So we began kissing. But I came to my senses when I realized what this could mean. Now I just want to say, what I feel for my brother-in-law is passion. But what I feel for my husband is love and passion. My husband has always fulfilled me in every single possible way. And I'm not about to leave my husband or ruin what we have for his brother. But this has now been happening for months. Brother-in-law continues to get me alone and kiss me. To be honest, it's kind of fun. Part of me has come to accept that my husband might be cheating on me. I haven't found concrete proof, but I feel like I will soon. But part of me doesn't care. I'm super attracted to my husband, but I'm also attracted to his brother. But I love my husband. I don't know what to do. Help me. Am I the asshole for hooking up with my best friend's ex and now we're in love? Disclaimers are on my Storytime and send me on Instagram. My bestie and I have known each other for over 10 years. Our lives have always been intertwined because we have the exact same careers and actually work at the same job. So her and I spend a lot of time together. My bestie and her ex broke up in 2020. The reason they broke up was because my best friend met another guy. When she broke up with her boyfriend, she didn't tell him that she met someone else. She told him that she fell out of love with him. He was so heartbroken that he actually decided to move away. After he started following me on Instagram and he would reply to my stories every now and then. But I would never engage because hello, she's my best friend's ex. But sometimes he would comment really nice things. So I started replying back. Now here's a little info on me. I'm a very, very shy girl. I've never had a serious relationship and I'm 23 years old. The only time I've ever dated is if guys come up to me and ask me out. Otherwise, I would never go on dates. T and I kept messaging. I started realizing we had a lot in common. A few weeks after that, he told me he was gonna come into town to visit. And he asked me if I wanted to meet up with him for dinner. Obviously said no at first, but then I realized, why not? I mean, nothing would happen, right? Wrong. First off, he offered to pick me up from my apartment. He opened the door for me to get in the car, and we went to a really fancy restaurant where he paid for everything. He made me laugh the entire night. I'm really attracted to guys that can make me laugh. Suddenly, underneath the table, I feel him grab my thigh. Part 2 is, am I the asshole for hooking up with my best friend's ex and falling in love with him? Disclaimers are not my story time. It was sent to me on Instagram. That's when I felt him put his hand on my thigh underneath the table. I was actually really shocked. And we turned to look at each other and we both burst out laughing. It wasn't awkward or uncomfortable at all. It's like we had already known each other for so long because we actually did. Mind you, we're at a restaurant and he sits closer to me and asked me if he could kiss me. I mean, how romantic. I said yes. For about 5 minutes, we were full on making out in the middle of the restaurant. It was like fireworks were going off. I had never in my life felt this way about any man. Like I said in part 1, I'm super shy. I'm so shy. No, I really am. But I guess because I knew him from dating my best friend, I felt very comfortable. After that, he took me home and nothing happened. He was only planning to stay in town for a week, but he decided to extend his stay so that he could take me out on a few more dates. We went rock climbing, had a beautiful picnic. He even taught me how to surf. For a full week, we hung out every single day. My best friend started suspecting something. Started asking me who I was hanging out with so much, and I told her I didn't want to tell her yet. She knows that I'm seeing somebody. After our 7th date, he asked me to be his girlfriend, and I said no. Told him it was just wrong for us to do this since he was my best friend's ex. He told me that neither of us owed her any loyalty, and that he found out that she actually cheated on him and left him for another guy. I just couldn't say yes. She's my best friend. Part 3 is up. Am I the asshole for hooking up with my best friend's ex and falling in love with him? Disclaimers in my story time. I sent me on Instagram. Just couldn't go through with it even though she cheated on him. That's when he told me that he would date me to marry and not just to hook up. And then the words came out of his mouth. He said, "I love you." Then I just blurted it out too. I mean, I was in love with him. We'd only been hanging out for 2 weeks, but it was so magical. Then we did it right then and there at the beach. And I had sand everywhere, if you know what I mean. After that, we went back to my apartment and he had another confession. He told me that when he was dating my best friend, he always thought I was very pretty. And that he always regretted having met her first instead of me. And how I was the complete opposite to my best friend. Then he told me about all the times that she would flirt with other guys in front of him. And that she would openly DM athletes and celebrities in hopes that they would text her back. And that she would turn around and be super jealous and controlling of him. And I have to admit, I know that my best friend is like this. It's been 6 months now, but we still have a long distance relationship. Actually brought up me moving to LA to be with him. That would mean I would have to leave my dream job. Told me that he would help support me until I got my own job. I'm supposed to go visit him in a week and I'm pretty sure he's gonna propose. I haven't told my best friend that I've been dating her ex now for 6 months. That we're totally in love, that the relationship is amazing, that he wants me to move in with him and that he really wants to marry me. Knowing her, she'll probably throw hands. And I don't really want to lose her friendship. This whole time I managed to convince her that I was single and that I was just dating guys. She recently broke up with her dude and asked me if she should text her ex, aka my boyfriend. I said no. What should I do?